Hi, welcome to Art by Mojo. Today I'm going to show you a way to turn your art into 3-dimension. I don't normally draw on here with a marker, but for you to be able to see it, I wanted to do that today. Normally I use a pencil, so I'm sure that everything will be covered up. We're going to be using this. It is sheetrock mud, as we call it around here, or as you can see, lightweight joint compound. I'm using one of my painting knives, and I'm going to start by pressing the mud onto the canvas. I've already painted the canvas background with acrylic. I'm sure this would probably work on top of oil, but I wouldn't want to do it on oil myself. You want to press this down, and I've got a glove just in case I need to help it. You want to press it down against the canvas in a thin layer to begin with. It's a little messy, but kind of fun. I'm going to go ahead and do this upper leg or arm of the turtle, whatever you would call it. We're going to have to make sure that the marker line is covered. And this is not an exact art. Everything's not going to be perfect. I mean, it's not like painting where you can put details in, but you can have a lot of fun with it. We do a lot of shells. I live on the coast of South Carolina. We do a lot of shells and sea turtles and, sea creatures and things like that when we have our classes. And this was a really fun class for the group that I teach here. And as you see, it will pull off the canvas while it's wet, but once it's dry, you won't have that problem. I'm just trying to be careful and get these lines covered up. I'm not used to having lines on there. Okay, I'm going to put a little texture in this part just by dabbing and dragging. You can see your edges aren't perfect. That's okay, because this is not an exact science here. And you don't have to do this extremely thick. I have done them up to 1 inch thick, which is kind of cool. But it does make your canvas kind of heavy. I don't want that green to show through there, so to make sure it's all covered up. And I would suggest that you don't buy the light. This is the light, and I'm not real happy with the joint compound that's light. I prefer using the regular one. But you can get these in 1 gallon buckets. Is as small, I think, as they come that I know of. But I usually get the 1 gallon bucket because I do a class. So now we're going to put it on his little feet. The hardest part is going to be his tail. Probably going to end up doing that with my hand that's got the glove on. I don't have as much control in my left hand, so if y'all want to laugh, it's okay. Okay. Go back to my right hand. Just give that a little texture down through there. And the reason I'm not just doing it smooth is when this dries, you can paint it or you can rub stain on it. And it's really cool because if you like take a dry brush and rub stain on it or paint, it just catches the tips. Of course, you can't push very hard because, again, this is sheetrock mud, so it will break off if you do that. And if you get it out here, you can just wipe it off. Now the reason I'm leaving his shell to the last is because that's the closest part to me. The arms and legs and tail and head are under his shell, so that's the top part. So I want that to overlap. The reason I put the mud on his shell to begin with is because it's just a good working area. But the more little spikes you can leave up and curves, and just makes it pretty when it's finished. I've done sculptures on canvas for years. And I was doing a sculpture on a canvas recently and discovered, well, I was bored with doing the sculpture, so I wanted something different. So that's when I discovered that I could put sheetrock mud on there. Okay, now we're going to do a shell. I'm going to get some more mud, put it up here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm having to press pretty hard. And the shell goes around like that. I want to get the base. While I'm just working here, if you will go down and subscribe. I know you have to put your email in and things, but it really helps me on YouTube. They start promoting your page more if people subscribe to your channel. And it doesn't charge you anything or anything like that. It's a safe zone. As safe as anything can be nowadays. The more you work this, the softer the mud gets. Let's take that up a little closer to his head because his shell really goes way up there. Okay, now we have his shell done, or the foundation of his shell. I'm going to add more mud. And you can see I've got a little bit out here. I can wipe most of it off, but after I get finished with the recording, I'll go on that with a wet paper towel and clean it up a little bit before it totally dries. Now I usually just kind of make a slight dome. And there, you can do this however you want. I mean, I'm just showing you that it can be done. There's lots of things you could do. You could take a stipple brush and make texture in this shell once I get it smooth. It's kind of like icing a cake. Okay, that's smooth enough. Now I'm gonna gently use my knife and draw the shell. I hope you can see this. I think my hand got in the way. And your shell is gonna have little lines in it. These don't have to be exact. We're not doing realism for sure. Okay, now that that part is done, again, that's going to be my little working surface right there in the middle. I'm just going to put a dab of clay in each one of those spots. Have to constantly add. I don't know about you when you try this, but my arm gets tired unless I have this down like on a low table. So I would suggest you do it lower. Right now this is a little bit below shoulder level, my table, and it's just a little bit too high to be doing this. Okay. I'll smooth that down again. See, the part you drew really doesn't show. Switching to my left hand to give my right arm a break. Okay. Now, and again, this is not necessarily how turtle's shell is exactly. It's not realism. I just need a guideline. You're going to put a blob of it, I guess you could call it, in each section and just push down on the outside edges so that it's forming the section of the shell, and then just put some texture in it. Whoops. Thank goodness that don't matter if you do that. Got a little too much, so I'll just add that piece over here. You can see this is probably 3/4 of an inch deep now. Let's just see. Well, about a half, a little bit more than a half. Okay, and then if you want to just give the indication of where those shell lines are, and if you, when you paint yours, if you will water down your acrylic a little bit, or your stain will go in anyway, but water down your acrylic, it'll go down in those crevices and be darker, and that's a nice look. This is already getting a little bit crusty out here, but I see a spot that needs just a little more right there. Okay, so that's how you put sheetrock mud on a canvas to create a 3D piece of art. And remember, I wouldn't recommend doing the outline in black, because it's hard to get it all covered up. In my book, I'd rather do it in pencil. Sometimes I come into the head part, and I'll actually take my knife and make the slight little indication like that of an eye on each side. But you can do yours however you choose. Thank you for watching my video today, and I hope you have fun making one of these. And be sure to subscribe at the bottom. Thank you.